All right. Another Florida win.
Yes.
Yes?
So
Your honors,
excited.
champagne?
Definitely.
I'll hold the cup. I will hold the cup.
So for those of you who don't know, this is our little tradition. Whenever the Panthers win, cheers to the Panthers.
To the win.
I'll take a pass on
This
this.
thing. You're missing out. You're missing
The
out.
taste of success.
That's exactly right. The taste of success.
So, let's recap what happened yesterday. Big game 2, huge win.
Another one.
Yeah, which is great because, it's always nice to sweep the road. And you sweep the road, you come back home and you're solid. And you have an opportunity to, win a game 3, then you're up 3-0. Lightning are under pressure because, they're a top team. And it's not a team that wants to get out in the first round. They're Eastern Conference. This, was regarded as an Eastern Conference final matchup. Both teams are that good. At least they were on paper. Now, Florida's giving Tampa some issues. And it's sparking a lot of conversation because everyone's like, yeah, Florida, they've played so many games. They could be tired coming in. But they weren't. And it was really good to see that the first game, it was 6-2. It was blown open. But they came in yesterday 1-0 until the empty netter, and they grinded it out, which was a sign that the team is a top team and they know how to both defense and offense. Because Lightning was never a team to lose in the playoffs if Vasilevsky had only 1 goal scored on him. So they rarely don't get anything. They've yet to be shut out in a game in the playoffs. And I think in history, which makes sense because they have a lot of top players and they always had a lot of top players. Kucherov, he's winning back-to-back Art Rosses, and Art Rosses is for the player that has the most amount of points in the regular season. So clearly, he can produce some goals. So can Point, so can Hagel, so can Hedman, who's their top power play quarterback and everything. It was a really good big game win.
Well, I cannot agree with you more. And more importantly, what's pleasing to see is that the Lightning there, they got together on the second game, which is what's supposed to happen to a top team, and really, really, really give it a shot. Of course, Bob was
Absolutely amazing.
yeah, but they really put up a fight, and the defending champions were really defending, and they defended their title in this matchup once again.
Yeah, the wins, it's not a series win yet, but it's really encouraging to see, especially knowing the fact that the penalty kill was phenomenal. Florida's penalty kill practically stole them the game, because as you cannot give Tampa that many power plays. They're bound to click on one or bound to click on two. And if it clicks once, it's going to click a million times because you found an escape route. And they scored a power play goal in the first game. And in the second game, no power play was on the board, which is good because there was a lot of penalties. There was the major, then there was a lot of minors, a lot.
Well, I got to tell you, one thing that's is very, very interesting what you just mentioned is the fact that in the game one, right, we had a lot of power plays as Florida, and we realized them all. 3 power play goals in the game one, right? The game two was the complete opposite. The opposite part was that we had to defend the Tampa power plays. So it's like a complete reverse when it comes to that.
Different dynamic.
Right, and we've shown the fact that we won the championship last year for a reason, and not only we could offense, we can defense on the power play, so we could kill as well as score, and that's really, really, really pleasing to see from the dynamic standpoint as to where the team is going. And look, we have a lead. There's nothing else to say about it.
Yeah, and it's really important to mention the 5-minute major because that can affect games moving forward. For those of you who didn't watch the game, or you can jump on the highlights, see the hit, and it was an illegal hit. It was a 5-minute major. It's ruled check to the head because the shoulders was towards the head. Hagel's shoulder was geared towards Barkov's head, which is illegal. So there was a 5-minute major assessed. Obviously, Florida didn't score on that power play, but there was a player safety meeting about it today, which is Friday. The result there's yet to be a result. So whether there's no suspension, a fine, or one game or multi-game suspension, whatever the result is, it affects the series moving forward. If there's no suspension, let's say fires will be there, because it's, as a team, you have to step up, especially for the captain. So it's really important. And also the status of Barkov, who was the player injured in the play, and per the coach after the game and then today, his status is TBD. So it changes the dynamics a lot. What are your thoughts?
Listen, I think that Barkov is a key player to Florida. Absolutely, the true captain. They don't perform the same when he is off the ice and injured. So it definitely can affect the series. I hope that it's not going to be a scenario under which we are not going to have him for the full series, even if he's out tomorrow in Game 3, which we're recording this podcast on Friday. So the Game 3 is going to be in Panthers Arena tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And by the way, don't forget, we have tickets to a Panthers Arena premiere box. It's right in the center ice, so you're going to be able to see it once we get our first home game. And believe you me, it is worth watching us. So subscribe, like us, and get to the game.
We hope to see you there. And share, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, definitely share. And so that's the Florida game. It was great, super energetic win. I think, fires were started at the end. And if a fire starts once, Florida, let's say they don't back down from a fire. They over the years they've kind of toned down the penalties, but they know how to get onto the other team's skin and not get a penalty, which is really important because you want to be aggressive, but at the same time you don't want to get a penalty against you. So moving on, we're going to do the Leafs and Sens, the Senators, the Ottawa Senators. Let's just say, the Leafs, I applaud you. Bravo, people. Bravo. Bravo. I really doubted the Leafs. I did Sens and Senators in 7. It's still a possibility, mathematically, but if you look at the game, the Leafs are just there. And the Leafs are just there. The fact that they're there just makes everyone mad because, they came to Ottawa, and half the Ottawa arena, because it's only 2.5 hours away, is for the Leafs. Why are you here? Move yourself. So, in my opinion, it should be in soccer, especially in Europe. The fact that you have the away team crowd somewhere in the corner where no one can see you. So because the Senators score the goal, it's only half the arena jumping up and ready to fire it up. But yeah, overall 3-2 win in OT. So Ottawa has lost 2 games in OT. Both either scored or on assisted by the same player, Simone Benoit, who is literally Nate Schmidt for Florida, who has 3 goals and is leading the Conn Smythe, which is the most valuable player in the playoffs because he has 3 goals.
Well, you know why Netevia is also a winning team?
Because
we have our own Benoit.
We have our own Benoit.
So, CLO of our company, Benoit Bossat, shout out. Benoit is a keyword to the winning.
The lucky name.
Yeah, no. So Ottawa will be on the brink of elimination tomorrow, and they really need to get it together because they played good. But on that last goal, it was off a face-off. Yeah, it was quick. It was a 1-2-3 punch. But, if you look at it, the Ottawa defense is, swimming. Where are you? You're here, but you're not in front of your net, but you're not in the face-off circle to cover anyone. What happened to you? It's OT. You can't let that go by you. In the third, second period, okay, if it goes by you, not the end of the world. You don't lose the game, but here, you're losing the game. And it was the top unit for the Ottawa Senators. So, it's their top, top defenders. And so the Ottawa defense kind of looks semi-non-existent because every goal, it's not, yeah, we're going to beat you. That was a really nice shot. It was yeah, you missed our backdoor play and you're going to pay for it, which is how goals are scored. And the Leafs figured it out this year because in years prior they couldn't. They were trying.
Yeah, and they have. I keep reminding you that they have 3 Stanley Cup champions,
Just 3.
on the roster that they took from Florida Panthers that now playing for the Leafs.
Yeah, so actually referring to one of those, Anthony Stolar is the goalie for the Leafs. Holy smokies. Like, he is standing on his head. Like, and that's, we refer to that as kind of like you're stealing the game because you're pulling every save you need to pull. And yes, even he let in 2 goals, but they were at the times where it was okay to let in 2 goals. So if you let in a goal in like the final minute or third, you're like, really, thanks. Like, that was really helpful. So like you need that save, and he didn't do that. And so he's playing really top game. And they have Ekman Larsson and Lawrence, who are...
Ekman Larsson's got a phenomenal shot.
Yeah,
Phenomenal
he
shot.
can pound that thing like no tomorrow. Like,
I
fires that.
definitely agree.
Like, it's kind of like the same idea as, like, for Panthers Schmidt this season. Like, the goal he scored yesterday, it just fired.
I felt like Ekman Larsson. I really felt like Ekman Larsson really did a good job there. But it apparently was Schmidt.
Yeah, no, it's like the reincarnation. Yeah, and it was like,
That was, by the way, I have to go back to the Florida game. That was a fire shot. Like,
it just went through everyone.
Yeah.
And like the way some of those shots go through people's legs and arms and sticks and feet.
It's impressive.
It's really impressive. It goes in the net and the goalie can't see it or he's too late or
Too crowded.
No, can you imagine if there's 5 people in front of you? Like right dead in your eyes, trying to get your every movement, and everyone's just like doing this. So
Real skills.
It's really incredible. The NHL goalies are like top skill, and so the Leafs and the Senators. It's a 3-0 series for the Leafs, and in my opinion, I really Sens in 7 is in my heart. Like, it's really in my heart. This whole Sens in 7 idea, but it's
if they win 1, that would be the end of it, and it would be a 4-1 at best, if not 4-0.
Yeah, so it would really be like, okay. No, in my opinion, they really need to win Game 4. It's a home crowd. Do it for the half the arena for the Senators.
For the 3 people in the back.
No, it's not the 3 people in the back. No, they have one of the biggest arenas in the NHL, so it is big. So like 11, about like 15,000 are still rooting for the Senators.
Yeah.
Like 10 to 15, but you really need it for them. They haven't had one of those series in a while. So moving on, we're gonna do the Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars.
That is an amazing situation.
I'm gonna let you talk first.
This is an amazing situation. The way that Colorado plays, the way that how strong they are, and their team is so together in the pivotal moments where it's overtime or part of the game, Dallas just comes out and steals the win.
Just like that.
Just like that. And you're like, what the hell just happened? What the hell just happened? Like, you were watching the game. It's Colorado. Three periods, Colorado. All these guys do is they get to the overtime, and it's like a new team in overtime for Dallas. Like a new team. Now, shout out to my friend TJ, who I hope is watching this podcast, because I need those tickets to that arena in Dallas that you promised me. Okay, I'll exchange it for the Florida Panthers arena tickets. You promised me online. So TJ, if you're watching this, I am looking for those tickets, because I don't know that Colorado is going to make it at this point if Dallas is going to keep stealing the game.
Yeah, no, going back, Dallas has only led either of the 3 games, and 2 of them they won for 62 seconds. Because the game instantly ends in overtime. So they score the goal, the game is over. So there's nowhere, they can't lead the game. It's just over. So, and those 62 seconds was in the second game where they scored a goal, and 62 seconds later, Colorado answered it to make it even. So reality, it's just like this, just like you said. So the thing was, Dallas, it was a 2-1 win in Colorado, and Colorado had the energy. Landeskog came back, their captain, who hasn't played an NHL game in almost 3 years. They were pumped up, the juice was flowing, and right there, it's just fun. It's like a volcano. Like you just erupt at the wrong time. Or for Dallas, if you look at the Dallas volcano, you erupt at the right time. You're sitting there, the lava's brewing,
And then boom.
it's going, and then poof, eruption. Unbelievable. Dallas put on a defensive masterclass. That penalty kill was like, honestly, I watched the highlight of that. It was incredible. Like McKinnon, Makar, Drouin, Natchez, like they were just like swarmed. Like you get the puck and you don't know where to go with it because like Dallas kind of plays a really similar system on the penalty kill like Florida does. They pressure the puck carrier. So if you have the puck, they have pressure on you, which it's a great strategy.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's proven a lot of success. So it's huge momentum shifts because of all these penalties, and Colorado loses it and. They had a power play in overtime, and you don't score, and that's why Dallas scored. So now it's a 2.
You don't score, you get scored on.
Yeah.
That's what it
Gotta
is.
jump on the opportunity.
That's
Yeah,
it.
you do. And now Colorado has to win at home in Game 4. They have to, because otherwise losing 2 at home is like really devastating. And then they're going to go back to Dallas. And Dallas can be, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. We appreciate the effort. We love that you were leading the entire game, and we just scored. Love that for us. But if Colorado gets the win, it's 2-2, and now it's a best of 3. And a best of 3 tests your nerves more than a best of 5, which tests your nerve more than a best of 7.
So I gotta start hammering my friend TJ for those Dallas tickets.
Yes.
Message was received, hopefully.
I hope so.
Caps and Canadiens. 2-0 Caps, the series. The Caps win 3-1 on Wednesday night. Really, Caps goalie was incredible. Like, he looked like prime anyone. Like pick any goalie. Like that's what it looked like. The dive and the jump and the save and the spin and this. And it wasn't like one save. It was like on a sequence. So like they fire the puck, he saves it, and then someone else gets the puck, and then it goes back to him, and all of this.
Like a Superman.
Yeah, no, that.
Well, listen, I think they behaved like a normal team at home. I mean, they lost the games in Washington. I think this series is going to go further than 4 games for sure, and that's all it is at this point. I mean, the home teams behaved like they're supposed to be, winning at home.
Yeah. Just like you said, Montreal's a really tough team to beat at home. They're coming home for games 3 and 4. Montreal is the best atmosphere in the NHL. Like, it is electric. They have the biggest arena. No, yeah. They played the Four Nations there the first games. It was as loud as it gets. And that was, Canada, whether it's Canada playing or Montreal, their home team playing. So it's fire. And Canadiens had a lot of chances. So I feel like if they can capitalize on a few of them, it can go back to being a tight series. So now we're going to talk about the Kings and the Oilers. Game 2 was 6-2 to the Kings. Let's just say Stuart Skinner, the goalie for the Edmonton Oilers, was pulled from the net and will not, N-O-T, get the start in Game 3. He is #benched for Game 3, and their backup, Pickard, will get the start because he let in 1 million goals on not a lot of shots. And it was a game that was winnable because no one was like, oh yeah, you just took the game over. It just wasn't tight because of their goalie. And McDavid and Draisaitl can't do all the work. It's a team effort. It's a team sport.
Definitely.
Especially when it's constantly switching. It's not like, like in football or soccer, you have 11...
There's a rhythm.
Yeah, there's a rhythm, and also there's 11 players, and they switch, and you only have 5 substitutions. Here, you switch every minute and a half, so they need to keep it moving, and McDavid and Draisaitl can't play 60. So Kings are on fire, Oilers are going home, and they're really going to need to pull something off, because this is not funny. For the reigning Western Conference champions, it's not funny. They need to get it together if they want to make a run. In my opinion, they don't make a run because my prediction was Kings. Thank you. All I have to say for the series, let's get it moving. What do you have to say?
I would have to say that I'm disappointed.
In who?
In Skinner. He's a disappointment. He's a complete
Kind of
disappointment.
happy LA.
You know,
won.
last year they were talking about when they were playing a series with Florida. Last year they were talking about the fact that Skinner is somewhat of a young goalie, and he's got a lot of potential. He can get into really being a big goalie, and he really came out in game 4, 5, and 6 for Oilers in the Panthers series in the finals of the Stanley Cup. But at the end of the day, stability is what matters. Look at Bob, right?
Yeah.
Bob is Bob. It was Bob last year. It is Bob this year, right? It's stability. Even Vasilevsky, as much as Tampa losing, the guy is solid.
Consistent.
Solid.
Yeah, he was
absolutely
the second star
solid.
of the game on a game they lost.
Exactly, right? So that is something that you need to have in a Stanley Cup ready goalie. If you don't have it, don't put him in the net. Don't put him in the net, because it's not just the skill. It's the skill, it's the nerves, it's the preparedness and the difference between your regular season and your Stanley Cup run. That's really the
And
pressure.
it comes back to the Leafs idea. They had Samsonov, and they had Wall, and then they had this one, and then they had this goalie, and this goalie, and this goalie. And
in the end, they went for the number 2 of the Stanley Cup, and look what they got.
yeah.
See?
So it's the idea that there's a differentiation in goalies in the regular season and goalies not in the regular season. And that actually ties into the next matchup in the St. Louis Blues and the Winnipeg Jets. So let's say, for all of the Americans out here, howdy, the St. Louis Blues scored a touchdown yesterday. They scored a touchdown. They got 7 on the St. Louis Blues got 7 on the Winnipeg Jets, and Winnipeg Jets only got 2 back. So, and Hellebuck looked like a goalie that he was last playoffs, that he had 6 scored him, and then 5, and then 6 again, and then 4, and then 5, and then 6. So all of these numbers, it was against him. But in games 1 and 2, he was really, really solid. And everyone's like, yeah, Hellebuck, here we go, playoff goalie, let's go, let's fire it up. And now this firing up just got a touchdown scored on him. So the question is, is it just like a one game off? Was it the Winnipeg Jets defense fault? Whose fault was it? It's not just about blaming one particular part, but at the same time, you have to have a proper analysis. Like, is it a goalie giving up soft ones, or is it just that Blues are overwhelming, or Jets can't defend for the life of them in a barn that's not their own? Because, again, there's a difference between playing on home because you have last change. That switch, because, like, let's say Tampa comes out, let's say, with their top line. Florida can't answer with their top line. They have to make that decision first. So Florida can give out their third line, and then Tampa's going to be like, oh, look, it's their third line. We're going to put out our first line. That's what happens when you play on the road. At home, you get the matchup that you want. Also, the defense. You can only switch one.
You see, for people that don't know, this is a very important piece, right? That's a strategy piece in hockey that Emma's just explained, that as if everybody here knows, including myself, right? But it's a strategy that people deploy, and it's what's important to note is that the home team really have a home team advantage.
Yeah, it's even last change.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's last change. That let's say sometimes they want to change the defense or the lines, and it's really important because that it gives them the edge. So is Winnipeg a home do they take advantage of that fact that they have it home? But it's not that bad because Winnipeg in this series has home ice. So in a 7-game series, game 7 would be in their own barn. So does that help them so much that they can win in 7? Or is this just a one-off and Jets are back and they're back in 5? So, and then but if St. Louis can make this 2-2, here we go. Yeah, and then the last series that we're going to talk about, because the Carolina Hurricanes and the New Jersey Devils, which is series number 8, at least, because you're mentioning 7, they have not played since Tuesday, and we talked about them on the podcast on Wednesday, which was released earlier on this day, which is Friday, and they don't play till tonight, so they're not going to be part of this discussion. And the last team we're going to talk about is the Vegas and Minnesota. And in my opinion, Vegas, thanks. Minnesota's killing you. Minnesota figured it out. They got it done. It's 2-1 Minnesota in the series, 5-2 in the game, and just like I said last time, anything can happen in Vegas, and anything can happen to Vegas as well. So Hill got pulled again, just like Skinner.
Well, let me tell you something. I've watched Hill during the regular season, and he's a very unstable goalie. Very unstable goalie. He can have a great night, or he can have the shittiest night. The fact that the entire season, especially the last part of the season, Vegas carried Hill, literally. This is when the team carries the goalie. Carried Hill all the way into the playoffs is a testament to the Knights. That's a true Knights experience. You get the true Knights experience. But in the end of the day, I told you in the beginning of the series, Kaprizov as well as McDavid are the future of the NHL league for years to come, as long as they play in the NHL. Besides McKinnon and McCarrs and of the world, those guys are just special. They're just special, and you could see how Minnesota is actually changing, and they have leadership. That's what I think is winning this series so far for Minnesota.
Yeah, and a few years ago when they were in the playoffs, they were super young. Now they've got a little more experience. Their captain gets them going. There was a few good hits that were legal, and legal, keyword legal. So, it got them fired up. They had a few good power plays, especially, it's also really important, the last minute and the first minute of every period, because those momentum shifts, it's like you're on a cruise ship. Like, you can be either steady, we're going, or it's like you're on a speedboat in the middle of a hurricane.
The cool thing about it, we could probably get tickets really quickly to Minnesota because nobody was expecting them to to perform that well. So if you want to have a game outing to Minnesota, and by the way, they have great apples. They have great apples, right?
Minnesota, yeah, great apples, actually. No, but Minnesota's actually nicknamed the state of hockey, so I don't know what you're talking about here. Their arena yesterday was on fire. And Vegas Stars, which is, their main player, which is Eichel, he has 0 points and in 3 games, and for Vegas to be successful, he needs to he needs to be on the board, and the goals need to come, especially on the power play, because he is the facilitator in that case. But overall, honestly, it was a great 2 days of hockey. Lots of action everywhere, and stay tuned for the Florida game, because that game, if Barkov can't play tomorrow, Florida's going to answer to Hagel, and especially if Hagel doesn't get a suspension, there should be some answers, because you can't...
And we have Ekblad coming back.
Oh, yes. Hold everyone's horses. Please hold. Ekblad, who has been serving a 20-game suspension, is coming back. Alert, we now have 6 good defensemen. No offense to Balinskis. He's great. He was actually really great last night. That save, did you see the save? Put the stick down. Oh, it was so good. In the dying seconds, it was so good. Yeah, but he should be out of the lineup because he would be the 7th defenseman and the one scratched. And Ekblad's going to come back to his top pairing with Forsling, and then Jones back with Mikula, and then Kulikov and Schmidt. And Schmidt for Conn Smythe. That's my ruling.
Can't wait for tomorrow.